Welcome back. I see you. You made it back for week 2. Thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us for another wonderful week of KTV. Now, if you did not watch last week's premiere of season 3, what are you doing? No, finish watching this show, but then go back and watch that one. It was great. And we have some great content for you this week. I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna tell you what's going on, but part 2 of my story, yeah, it's crazy. But we have a couple of great guests this week. We have Brother Marcus Stubbs, and then we have the Clink Scales family. So some people that you may have seen in and around church, but you get to know them just a little bit better. Stay tuned. It's gonna be fantastic. Peace.
Hello everyone and welcome to KTV. I am your host here today, India Marks, and I am here with the wonderful Clink Scales here at Kingdom Fellowship. Please introduce yourselves. We'll start Indy first. We love you. We're going to come to the lovely wife first.
Thank you, India.
What is your name, beautiful?
My name is Tanya Clink Scales.
Tanya Clink, I call her beautiful clearly, but her name's Tanya, y'all. And then we have here
Deacon Billy Clink Scales.
Deacon Billy Clink Scales. Okay, I'm sure you've seen him moving around throughout the sanctuary. Every time I see him, this couple is always sharp. Okay, to the T, the fashionista and the fashioniste, or however you say it for a man. They are always killing the game, and I love it. I'm like, they can just do a spin. Let me see the suit. Let me see how it's tailored. She's always coming in. I love it. I'm a fashion lover too, so I'm always inspired by how they're
Thank you.
threads together. Sometimes y'all coordinate.
Sometimes we do.
I love that. I love that.
And it's definitely not planned.
Really?
It's not.
That's how you know the love is real. It's a real connection. They're really synced. Because when you match without trying, Lord, do it for me. Do it for me, Lord. I've seen what you did for others. Do it for me. Yes, so let's get into some of these questions and know a little bit more about you all. So my first question is, how long have you all been a partner of Kingdom Fellowship?
I've actually been a partner 6 years. Wow. And that was one of the stipulations when we got married, was for me to return back to the church. So I'll let you go ahead and answer that question, but I've been a partner for 6 years.
I've been a partner since around 2013, and I've been with Kingdom through all the different sanctuaries that we had to change and go through. Yeah, and I first moved back to Louisville because I had moved away to Indianapolis, and I moved back to Louisville, and I was looking for a church home, and I got aware of Kingdom Fellowship, and became so filled when I came here, filled with the Spirit that led me to want to join. My daughter was involved, and she was like,
yes, I love your
Dad,
daughter.
you gotta come and visit Kingdom Fellowship and hear Pastor preach, and that, pretty much solidified it. The love was just so overwhelming when I got here, and all the people have been real good and just welcoming to the church. So I said to myself, I had been several churches here in Louisville, but I said, I'm going to make my home.
Amen. I love that. Because that was actually my next question, which you answered already. What brought you here? How were you led? And I love how you said that, your daughter was like, hey, Dad, I got a place. And it's funny how you raised them up a certain way. And they come right back around like, no, I want to show you something now. Yeah. And I love how you mentioned that when you came here, you just felt the love and the Holy Spirit was so powerful in here. And that's what I love, and I try to explain to people about church and the necessity of it is the love you have, the community. Not everybody has that experience in church. I'm glad here at Kingdom, we promote that. And we don't just say it, we live by it.
That's
we're
true.
witnesses that you come and you really feel love. And I love that was your answer. That just warmed me. My little tongue came down and everything. Yes, so my next question. So we love our church. We love what happens here at Kingdom. What do you love about our pastor? What is an intriguing thing to you when it comes to Pastor Tim? You know, he's many things. But what is your highlight and what is the thing you love about Pastor?
One of the foremost thing is that he very articulate. He articulates the message, and that's one of the main things that I look for. You know, when I decide on a church or visit a church, that I can have the word articulated to me that's meaningful and understanding. And pastor preaches, he teaches when he preaches. Also, that's another attribute that I look for in a good pastor. He speaks well, and you know, he seems to be driven, and he's passionate about his ministry and what he's trying to do, and that solidified it for me.
Yes, I love that, and I love that because Pastor Tim, it is important that you're understanding that can take the word and make it make sense to you. You know, because life is frustrating, and we're not promised a perfect life when we worship, when we serve God, when we give our life over to Jesus. So to have someone that can stand up there and shepherd you and make it make sense to you, that's amazing. Even in your difficult season.
It is.
And for you, what do you love about Pastor?
I do have to agree with Deacon Billy. He is definitely a teacher. And when I go home, I understand. And even though I go home and I still research, which is what I am taught to do, is to research what the word is. So it's easy for me to understand. And I love that about Pastor Tim. And the other thing I love about him is that he's normal. Even though he is a man of God, he is normal, and he is compassionate, and he's caring, and he's loving, and he speaks up for his people, and that's wonderful. So I am so thankful that we have such a leadership in him that he takes us to the next level. And so I am so looking forward to the next level. And the book of Acts was wonderful, and I go home and I read it just to make sure that I understand it even more. So that's really special to have a pastor that loves his ministry and loves the Lord.
Yes, I love that. He's normal.
He is normal.
We have a normal pastor. You know, I don't know about the abnormal, but he's normal. You know, he's normal. He gets up there and he's a man. He's himself.
Absolutely.
And it's not that issue of like he's this in the pulpit and this outside.
Absolutely.
He is normal, and he makes sure to be transparent.
Yes.
And I love that. For those who don't know, we're currently going through the book of Acts here. The book of Acts, here at our church, and it's been a blessing on today. So make sure you go back and watch our sermons, the pre-recorded. Go back and watch those. Watch our replays to catch up and know what we're talking about, so you can be in the loop with us and what you had to say. You touched a little bit on a question that I was going to mention, which I kind of falls back to what led you here. But let's talk a little about ministry. Are you a part of any ministries here at Kingdom, and if so, why?
Well, aside from being a deacon, I'm part of the security ministry, and that has been very blessing to me because I've always wanted to help people, and I always wanted to make people feel secure. And being the patriarch in my family, I always have to oversee and make sure everybody's well taken care of and protected. So being able to do that in the church is just something that just comes second nature to me.
That's awesome. It's funny you said that. I was going to say it's awesome to be a part of a ministry that touches the second nature you have. So you can just do it without having to walking confused. What am I doing? It's like boom. And I love it because our deacons, they don't play around. They don't play around. They love you, but they don't play around. And it's like when y'all walk in, you feel protected. Like you feel protected, and security's around you. Especially me, I'm serving as open arms. I'm like, someone comes in, I'm like, hey man, keep an eye, and you feel protected because you understand these are people that love God, they love the Lord, they're gentle as a dove, but they make sure that they are on it. They are on their P's and Q's, and it makes you feel protected. It makes you feel protected. She's like, I know.
6'3".
And look for you, anything you want to talk about regarding ministry?
I am currently serving as a dual group leader. And the reason why I got into it was to actually be amongst other Christians to help me along the way, because we all need help. We all need love. We all need guidance. And I can honestly say that I have met some wonderful partners in the different jewel groups. So it was more of a fellowship and a connection. So it does help when you're new and you're shy like myself. So it gives me a little bit of a leadway to be able to meet different people. I'm definitely shy. So it gave me a little connection. So I did enjoy serving the part that I did serve.
That is awesome. And I love that you wanted to step up and do that. And just like you said, you know, her nature is not as outspoken, maybe as other people. So it's letting you know, for those that are not connected with the Jewel Group, please connect with the Jewel Group. You can always contact the church or contact someone if you're in the church physically about what Jewel Group can you be a part of. Get connected, have that fellowship throughout your week, not just on Sundays and Wednesdays. And I love how you said that it just, you know, it made you like, oh, okay, I feel more welcome. I get to know somebody.
Right.
A little bit more personable as we grow together. So just moving, getting to know you all more, what is one thing you're looking forward to in the next couple of months here at Kingdom or even in your personal lives?
In my personal life, I'm looking to retire.
Amen.
I'm praying on it. I'm waiting on God to answer my prayer and lead me in the direction that He wants me to be. So I'm really praying that it's January 2022. And I am ready to start an endeavor in my life. So that is my wish in 2 months. However, in the church is to grow more of a partner within the church, to be able to do more, commit more, and be dedicated, and truly be dedicated. Not just holding a position, but to actually serve in that position. So that is my goal in 2 months, is to try to do more within the church.
That's good. I love that for you. I really do love that for you. And I'm just praying because you will have the
Please
grace to do it. And y'all, we got the exclusive here first. 2022. What month did you say?
I'm praying for January.
January 2022, she is going to retire. Look, we're going to speak it.
We're going to speak. We're going to claim it.
And we got the exclusive here first, okay? We got the exclusive here first. So I love that. And just you wanting to be dedicated. You came back and said truly dedicated.
Right.
And I love that because our pastor today in the sermon was talking about how he wants to really open up some things next year to go deeper into discipleship, deeper into discipleship and teaching us more things, how to disciple one another.
Right.
And I love that you're already on that mindset of like, oh, I'm already wanting that. I truly want to be dedicated. So
I need it.
Amen.
It's just not so much of want. I need to have that closeness. I need it. My life depends on it.
Yes.
Yep.
Is that real? Our life depends on it. We have to be desperate to want to thirst after the Lord. So with that, going straight into worship. Because I'm just like, we can just hear. What is one of your favorite worship songs, whether it comes from our praise team up here or just even for you, a song that you can just hit on replay when you're worshiping?
My favorite
Yes, she can.
My favorite is All Is Well Within My Soul.
Ooh.
No matter what my eyes may see, God is covering me. That is the song
Jesus.
that just fills me up
Yeah.
of all the trials and tribulations that I have gone through in my life. It's dear to my heart.
Yes.
It is.
Yes, we sang that actually a couple Sundays ago.
October 17th.
Listen, oh, come on with the date. We sang that
October 17th.
You know, Sundays ago, and that's every time it just fills up because
It
everyone
does.
can relate to it.
Mhm.
If you can't, you lie. You know, it is the truth for everyone. All is well, no
Within my
matter what I
soul.
see, no matter what comes my way. All is well. I think that's something we always have to rehearse in our lives. Like, okay, this is going on, but all is well. My God's faithful. He doesn't fold. You know, He's going
Absolutely.
to keep going. All is, girl. Oh, she touched on something. She touched on something. So those are pretty much all the questions we have regarding ministry. But just what are some things you all like to do in your personal lives when you're, to keep your relationship with God strong, and just things you like to do to stay fun, whether it's a hobby you like to do or.
Well, he actually loves music, and I just kind of go along with it. I love music, but it's a certain type of music that I love. I'm old school R&B.
Oh, okay.
We both love jazz. So we do listen to a lot of jazz. We go to a lot of concerts, and we just kind of relax. You know, sometimes life gets in the way of relaxing, and we forget that we're a married couple, and sometimes it's not an individual thing. So we have to find time to be able to focus on each other. So we do spend a lot of time together. Of course, we love to shop, as you see. We love to,
Come on.
fashion is it. So we try to spend a lot of time. We do a lot of family things together. We host a lot of family.
A lot of family.
We believe in family. We uplift family. We encourage our family. So we do a lot of family things, and that's with our children, my mom, my sister, his brother, our siblings, our children, our grandchildren. So family is important.
It's really important.
It's really important to
I
us.
love that. I love that. You gonna say something?
Now, I was going to say, and another thing that we come together as far as the ministry goes is, and Tanya agree with this, we will have discussions about the sermon and how it affects
that's
us. And I'm telling you, Sister India, it's been so many times that it seems like the pastor's preaching to us because we either had the discussion before church or, you know, somewhere during that week, and pastor comes right out and we look at each other and say, look at God.
Wow.
We actually call it the Bill and Tanya show. That's what we call it because it's every day. We set aside time as I'm getting to get ready for work, and we do. We talk about different things, and it's always when we come to church on Sunday, Pastor Tim is right on point of what we just spoke about. So that's just the power of God.
That's it.
That's what that is.
Being manifested right there.
Absolutely.
Right there. So for all you married couples out there and soon-to-be married couples, you heard it here. They just give you tips on how to keep your marriage strong, your relationship strong, and how to always give it back to God. I love that so much. And I get to sit and talk to y'all all day. Can I guest on the Tanya and Billy show? Can I be a guest appearance? Yes, so the last thing I want to talk about here, you know, we have the Levolution, and we always want to, you know, pay homage and give shout outs to people that we love and care about. So even though that month has ended, we love to keep Levolution going. So is there anyone that you would like to shout out and show love to on today?
I do. There's one particular young lady. I'm going to call her a young lady, but she's actually a youth. And Gabby. Everyone knows Gabby. Everyone knows Gabby. But Gabby, if she is here on Sunday, she makes a point to come and speak to me, to see how I'm feeling, to see how my week is. And that just goes to show you the compassion that she has for people. And I have to give shout out to her grandmother, Sister Pam, that is raising a young child. Because we have so much warfare out there in our streets today. But when you see that in the church, we know we are headed in the right direction. And that is uplifting. I'll tell you, she warms my heart. She hugs me. She kisses me. And then she tells me how her week is at school.
Wow.
She's amazing. For her to be, I think she's 11 or 12 years old.
Yes.
She is amazing. And we just don't see that. So I just wanted to give shout out to our young adults, our youth, that we see you and we hear you. And I just love her to death. I just love her.
Oh, that's so good. I love that. Gabby is an awesome little girl.
She is.
She
She
really
is.
is sweet, and she's bold about it too.
She is bold.
knows who she is at a young age. And I love that because, you know, God tells us to be childlike. And it's a child that will come to you and be compassionate and love on you and hug you and even have a conversation with you. So we want to adapt that, you know, mentality and character trait that God calls us to have to be a child, because she said it here, that the compassion that's shown through Gabby, the love, how she really cares to your needs. Say,
She
how
does.
are you doing? And let me tell you about my week, you know, and
That's her.
really have a conversation. And she's 11 years
So,
old.
yes.
I'm learning. I'm taking something from that and putting it in my pocket, because she's 11 years old and she's able to show the love of Christ at 11. So yes, definitely another shout to her grandmother that's raising her and that is really growing her up in the things of God. So she'll
Absolutely.
be ready in her adulthood years. So
Yes.
we're definitely going to keep, you know, praying for her and her family that she continues to love like that. Oh, I love that. Is yours the same shout out, or do you have someone else?
No, I mean, it's so many people.
I know.
but,
We don't
yeah.
want to hurt no feelings. We love everybody. But today was about Gabby.
Today was about Gabby.
Yes, but it has been such a great time interviewing you all.
Thank you
Listen,
so
if we can
much.
just have Can we do that? We're kind of have a Tanya and Billy. This was amazing.
KTV's taking off shows.
Okay. KTV's taking our show.
We'll do a Tanya show.
Okay.
We'll get it. We'll get in the program.
We cover all topics. Every
We
time
do.
The news comes on in the morning. We turn it on 6 o'clock, and you know, we have a discussion about all world events.
Sounds like another premiere right here for season 4.
Tanya and Billy show. Listen, I love that. So, are there any closing remarks you guys want to add?
No, I just want to say it's been a blessing to serve here at the Kingdom Fellowship, and we certainly appreciate all the love we've been shown, and just continue to pray for us.
Yes, amen. And we shall continue to uplift you all, as well as all of our other married couples out there, all of our partners, even our future partners. Are praying for as God adds number to us here, that we're prepared to equip them and to help them grow as we have all been equipped and we've grown as, you know, being partners here. So I'm thankful that I had the privilege to interview you all today, get to sit down and talk with you all. So yes, this has been an amazing time, and I hope you all enjoyed it and was able to take something away from it. And until next time, Kingdom family, this has been KTV.
Yes, I'm back, and as you see, I got on the same thing that I had on last week, because I just figured I would continue where I left off. Now I know these are going to show, and it's already past Halloween. So if you heard last week, it's your man's Rick High-Steed, little story time. If you were with us last week, you heard my very unfortunate story about one of my last forays into a haunted house. It was many moons ago. I'm not going to tell you the year because I would date myself. I'm seasoned, as Pastor would say, seasoned. A veteran of this thing, if you will. Anyway, last week, go back and watch the story. It was a rather unfortunate time in the haunted house for me, and I was not allowed to come back for some time. But you know, I figured, what they gonna do? So the following weekend, I went to another haunted house. This one was called Nightmare Forest at the time. I think it's Field of Streams now, but it's Nightmare Forest. They put us in small groups. It's like midnight, 11 o'clock at night or something. It's midnight. We're out here in the forest. They put us in these small groups, about groups of 8 or 10, something like that. They had a little guide with us just to make sure that we stay on the main path so that nobody's off running off in the woods for real. And I swear, I don't know if they had speakers or something in the trees, but you can hear all the noises of not only the aminos in the, yes, I did say aminos, blame Renika. The aminos in the woods, but you hear the sounds of horror movies. So I know we going through and I'm hearing, kill. I know we hearing that. So once again, my fight or flight response is on full tilt. I'm at 100 right now. And I'm like, oh, I am ready for anything. Now, the worst part of this entire little trip into the haunted house was that there was a Hispanic couple that went with us. And this particular Mexican guy and his girlfriend were steadily cussing each other out, just talking bad to each other in Spanish the whole time. But they weren't quiet about it. They are just loudly arguing with each other the whole time. And I get frustrated to the point, I know none of this is real. I know it. However, I'm like, if y'all don't shut your face, you're telling all the monsters where we at. Now all the monsters know to come over here and get us because we are announcing our presence. I'm still doing what I do, spotting the monsters. I see you. Your tail sticking out. I see you. And all of a sudden, I guess the little Hispanic gentleman, he sees something I don't see. And he lets out this blood-curdling scream. Ay, de me! Takes off running. He's gone. Listen, my fight or flight is on 1,000 right now. And I'm like, oh, he's running? I should be running. That is an automatic black person's response. You run, I run. I figure out what it is later. He takes off running, I take off running. My girlfriend at the time, she's like, wait for me. And I'm like, oh no, you said you ran track? I ran track. I'm out. Catch up. I'm on my Usain Boltness right now. I'm out. He's taking off. Now, we run through this field. There were some monsters in the field that are supposed to jump out on us and scare us. But he takes off running so fast, the monsters don't even get a chance to scare him. They're like, oh, okay. When I'm coming next, so they figure, okay, here comes the group. We jump out and scare them. So this dude in a predator outfit jumps out in the middle of the trail to scare me and I guess scare the whole group, make us slow down. Jumped out in front of me. At this point, I have 3.3467 seconds to come up with a response to what I'm gonna do when he jumped out in the trail. So my mind is like, karate kick him, run around him. No, it's too easy. So somehow my foolish mind thinks that, you know what? WWE, I'm a clothesline him. So I go full The Rock, Stone Cold. Bam! Clothesline him. He does like 4 flips, hits the ground. Now I know that is the wrong response. I know it immediately. God told me, what are you doing? My shoulder said, ooh, I think I'm broke. My spirit said, ooh, you done messed up, fool. Didn't they tell you last weekend you ain't even supposed to be at haunted houses? So now I'm running with a broken wing. I get to the end. Once again, they done shut down the whole place. They done turn on the lights. The police on their way, and I was like, oh. The police get there and they jump out of cars. I was like, who did it? And the little Hispanic fella, he's marching back and forth and he's going back and forth. And I'm like, I'm ready to go to jail. And by happenstance, the Hispanic guy's girlfriend got there and she's like, he did it. Because they were so far behind us, she don't know what happened. And she said, well, he was first, the one to take off running. Must have been him. She's like, he did it. And as the police jump on him, my girlfriend catches up and she's just like, ooh, don't say nothing to me. Get in the car, let's go. We gotta go. Again, not proud of it. I messed up. God told me. I messed up 2 weekends in a row. He was not happy, he was not pleased. Haven't been to a haunted house since. It was a long time ago. And many calories and less pounds. Anyway, see us next week. This is Divine Comedy. We're casting. I'm out.
Hello everyone and welcome to KTV. My name is India Marks, your host here on today, and we are here with the one and only. Tell us who you are and what do you do here at Kingdom?
Yes, my name is Marcus Stubbs, and so who am I? All right,
Who
so
are you?
all right, so let's see. I'm a a son, I'm a husband, I'm a partner here at Kingdom Fellowship Christian Life Center. I currently work at Dare to Care Food Bank, and I just like to do a lot of community initiatives. And also I'm in school at Bellarmine University.
Amen. I love that. Shout out to Chantel Stubbs.
Yes, that's
The
my
wifey.
wife. Yes.
Is she down there?
Yeah, she's probably down
We're
there.
not gonna make a scene. We're not gonna make a scene. So that is wonderful. So tell us about your experience here at Kingdom. What do you love about Kingdom? And what are some highlights if you could add?
What I love about Kingdom, first and foremost, I've been here for about 12 years. So, I love Kingdom since, it's been here for around 13 years. But my family and I, we love the church. We love the leadership. We love the family and friends that we have, added in from year by year. And so it's just been nothing but great fellowship, great partnership, and then just ministering and loving together. And so it's very authentic, and the people are very honest, and that's what I love about my family here. And also we reach out outside the four walls of the institution. That's another big deal for me, not just to minister amongst each other, which is great, but also to reach out to the lost at any cost. And so that's one thing that I really love about my church.
Yes, that's something we mentioned last week when we interviewed Miguel, how he talked about how we don't just stay in the four walls. We love that about our pastor, that here he makes sure that we not only ministering in the church like you said, but also outside. And I love that our church is so community based. We are in every inch of Louisville. Y'all may have seen Pastor Tim, with the protest leading, so he stands on community outreach, and we love that. So tell us a little bit about you. What do you like to do? Just a little bit, like we say, a little pinky toe information.
A little pinky toe.
Just a little bit of information about you.
Well, like I said, I'm currently working at Dare to Care, and I work as a Zero Hunger mobile market representative.
Wow.
And so pretty much that is an initiative with Kroger, and we go to 25 different locations, where this is a 55-foot trailer, if you can imagine, with a single aisle grocery store, all healthy goods, going into areas like food deserts, going into low income areas that were family sites, senior sites, and we make sure that they get the healthiest foods possible at an equitable price. We give them 10% off with the discount. So that's what makes it equitable, and we make sure that we continue to extend. We've been about 2 years now, so we really making an impact in the city with that, and also in Southern Indiana. And also some of the things I'm glad that I'm learning at Bellarmine University, like I've mentioned, is continue to engage in learners in poverty circumstances. And so I'm continuing to be equipped in understanding how I can make way in all arenas, whether it's for-profit, nonprofit, and education initiatives.
I love that. I love how you touched on that. One, that is amazing to have that long trailer come.
Yeah.
So these are people that are physically driving out. They have that motivation to want to go out and feed and help. And I love that they're choosing to do organic foods, healthy foods to help people. I think the issue we see a lot of times where we have people in our communities that want to help, but not always are giving the best food out. So it's awesome that you are starting that and doing it. And I pray that it prosper. I pray that it blow up and that y'all get everything y'all need. And I love that you touched on the poverty thing. I think a lot of us are confused about what the impoverished mindset is, what a poverty lifestyle looks like. So I'm glad that you're choosing to educate yourself, to educate other people about that, because it's definitely something that needs to be talked about more.
Definitely, I agree. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. A little pinky toe. There's nothing exciting about me, but yeah.
We count towels in the bathroom floor.
Yeah, look, I guess so. A little bit about me, just to have a little insider in my life. For one, I don't know. I like to, just do a lot of working little things. Chantel will kill me for it. So she knows that I like to, take on a lot of different things that goes on in the community. But I guess one thing for sure, sports. I'm a Cardinal fan. So go Cards. I still love my Bellarmine Knights. I still love my Hilltoppers. Other things as far as so I love to eat for one, but I became a pescatarian last year. So I've been celebrating for about a year and several months due to the health lifestyle change that I wanted for myself, just to continue to eat healthier, and that's what I desire for myself. And then I guess another thing for sure is that I'm trying to do long distance running. So I've been trying to train for that as well, but it's slowly but surely coming along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love, so I'll be trying to wave a fried chicken leg around your nose at all.
I'll
be sure
not
not to be that
Oh,
person.
don't do it. If it's Indies, I may be tempted. So who knows? If it's Indies or Kings, you got me. No.
I love that. I love that. So thank you for sharing with you. You know, we wanted the pinky toe. We just want to know something about
Got
you.
you.
So thank you. So do you work in ministry here at Kingdom, and what ministry do you work in and why?
Yes, so I have the privilege to do the men's Sunday school, which I really love, and also armor bearing. So with the Sunday men's Bible study, I get a chance to talk about a lot of different things. Like right now we're talking about Manhood Restored by Dr. Eric Mason, and what does it look like to solidify a foundation within the home. But before even that, within yourself, right? Finding that identity in Christ Jesus. And so this has really been a blessing to me, first and foremost, because it has allowed me to review and reflect in advance, but also allows me to share with my brothers out there in the community, also in the church, to talk a little bit more about how we can continue to make way for not only ourselves, but for our family, and take the rightful ownership of what God has for us.
I love that. I love that. Talk a little bit about what it's like being an armor bearer. I think we see that we see the men that follow pastor. What does that look like?
Yeah. With the armor bearing, I mean, I can go a lot of different routes with it, but one thing for sure is it's a blessing to just try to make sure that pastor is good, that pastor is being prayed for. In all types of situations, whether it's like him going outside doing social justice movements, or whether it's him preaching at the pulpit. It is our duty to make sure that he is protected, hence armor bearer, right? But also just to make sure that we're praying on behalf of the initiatives that he's doing for our church, and then just also just speaking just any type of encouraging words if we can. And so really, I really believe that it's a position that, you know, doesn't have really much boundaries unless pastor wants it to be. And he has definitely allowed us to continue to engage with him in any situation that armor bearers do for him.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So y'all are literally the right side. You're right there with pastor in all areas of his life. So I'm praying that God continue to strengthen you. That's not a position to take lightly. Any ministry at all is not something we take lightly, but we serve with gratitude.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
You do it because you want to. You love pastor. So
Yes.
I'm thankful that you're in that position.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know him personally. So like, he's the guy
Sister
for the
India.
job.
I love it.
But yes, so thank you. So is there
Thank
any
you.
last remarks you want to add before we close out this interview with you?
First of all, thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it, and I really do, honestly. And at any point in time that you want to either partner with us at Kingdom Fellowship Christian Life Center, or if you're already partnering with us and I haven't met you yet, please feel free to just come and talk to me. I'd love to have conversation with you at any point in time. Or we can just hang out and get coffee, talk about the word of the Lord,
Amen.
or just continue to push forth his agenda. So God bless you all.
Yes, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being with us
Yeah.
here, Brother Marcus.
Thank you.
And this has been KTV.
Awesome.
I love Kids Corner because I get to see my friends and have fun. I love Kids Corner because it's fun, it's easier to learn, and I love the people. What I love about Kids Corner is that we learn about God, and it's almost like that God let us learn about Him and play and eat at the same time. Up there, that the grown-ups, they always learn about God, and it's also wonderful. And down here, it's also wonderful too.
I love Kids Corner because we go to Kids Corner and Jesus.
So I like Kids Corner because it's full of joy and it's full of faith and it's full of love. Because when I stay there every day, I just have a good time sometimes. That's why I'm such in a rush to get to school to get to the church because I love Kids Corner. I love Kids Corner. That's because it's fun. The reason I love Kids Corner is because I get to hang out with my friends and we learn about God. I love Kids Corner because I love God and Jesus because He loves me and He protects me and I love Him. Thank you, Jesus.
I love Kids Corner because our kids are absolutely amazing. It gives us a chance to not only teach them about God, but we get a chance to pour into them, to love on them, and to teach them.
I love Kids Corner because Kids Corner allows me the opportunity to pour back into people like people were able to pour back into me growing up. As a result, directing Kids Corner has been such a privilege and an honor because we are able to feed our children the Word of God.
We love Kids Corner because we love Kids Corner.
Welcome back to the Wealth Builder Movement. I am excited to be here with our panelists today. We are talking Financial and Asset Managing 101. I am here with none other than Jonathan T. Davis from JT Davis Asset Management, as well as Pi Charasika from JT Davis Asset Management. And we're going to get right into it because we have a lot of ground to cover. We all want to know, what are the basics? How do we get this going with our finances? So, Jonathan, can you please start by explaining to me, how did you all get to, how did you start this firm? I know there's not that many Black-owned firms nationally. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yes. First of all, I've been doing this for 29 years, so I've been doing this for a long time. But my first foray into this business, most of our clients that we worked with were people that either already had a high understanding of how the markets worked, or they were second or third generation money. So those firms, no disrespect to them, but they were not hospitable to people that were, new to wealth, new to the idea of building wealth. So we want to create a safe space for the non-traditional investor, someone who maybe you're the first person in your family that ever had any money. You have a corporate job, you've worked in place for 10 or 15 or 20 years, and you look up and one day you have a little something to work with. So we wanted to find a way so that person could, I guess, have a firm that caters to what their needs are.
Wow, that's amazing. And Pi, you are part of the firm as well.
Absolutely.
And you're a returning guest to the Wealth Builder Movement.
Yes.
You were there in our inaugural year.
Absolutely.
And so you are no stranger to this. So I'm going to kick it right off with probably maybe every financial and asset manager's worst question they don't want to hear from their client. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And I think actually I'm doing terrible things with my wealth.
Yeah.
So if I'm a person in that position, where they're kind of concerned, like, I think I might not be building wealth. Maybe I got some residual income. Maybe I have some money and some change to do some things, but I'm not quite sure if I'm building wealth, and I don't know if I'm financially well in terms of I'm exercising good financial wellness.
Absolutely.
So can you talk to us about what are some things that we can do to get on track with financial wellness, to just make sure we're on the right path?
Sure. So a lot of times when I reach out for an introductory conversation, one of the first things I'll talk about is financial organization, essentially streamlining all the things that you've got so that you have an understanding or a clearer picture of exactly what those things look like. We'll start a lot of times with the debt side of the equation, like how much debt are you carrying? How expensive is the money that you're using right now? And if we find that that's a little bit less, or we can obviously, reduce that, we'll take care of that. But obviously our intentions are to try and build wealth over time. We'll look at things like budgeting, like savings, in terms of what saving strategies are out there and available for you, given your employer, or depending on what your resources might be. So those are usually the places where I like to start. What is your discretionary income and your ability to put money towards a plan so that we can actually help you save to have a particular long-term goal that you're meeting, or whether you have an income goal that you are striving for down the road.
And Jonathan, I have a question for you, and it is, can you describe the difference between financial planning and asset management? if I'm saving money, am I building? Is that an asset? Is my savings account an asset? If I'm budgeting money, am I building wealth just by budgeting? Or, are those two separate things? Should I be thinking about both my financial wellness and my wealth wellness?
Yes, you just think about both of those things. And you almost think of them like a rocket ship in the sense of, money that's in a savings account or money that's in a checking account, you need to have that money, but you also need to have some money that is at risk in the market, especially if you're a younger investor or somebody with a longer time horizon. That money is not money that you want to, allocate for short-term goals. You got to have at least a 5-year time horizon that you put that money away to give yourself some chance to take advantage of an upswing in the equities market. But you should also have short-term money in your savings and checkings, and money you're going to set aside for a trip. Money that you don't need to buy a car or do things that are going to happen within a 5-year period. So they're different.
Wonderful. And so I'm going to ask you another question kind of along those veins. So Pi was able to give us a little bit of kind of how do I get my financial situation together? So where do I start this journey of wealth? Let's say I've already got, I've got my savings together. I'm pretty good at budgeting. But I'm looking at, a little bit of cash in my bank account. I'm trying to figure out, where do I put it? What do I do with it? So Jonathan, what are some, just loose guidance on, what are the different areas, maybe the main areas that I could invest in, or I could have my money, as they say, working for me and not have lazy money?
Well, two things. Number one, you want to educate yourself. Go on the internet. Google's free. We've all heard that expression. Go on the internet and try to educate yourself on at least the basics of how finance works, how it works as far as getting involved, with the mutual fund or an ETF or with a stock. Secondarily, you want to also, if you can, in your area, try to connect with someone who is a fiduciary. And with a fiduciary, you have someone who has a much higher standard of care as far as working with an investor, especially a newer investor, as opposed to a product salesperson. And both Pi and I are both fiduciaries. We don't sell anything at all. We just give advice.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So Pi, my question for you is, if I am on this journey, as you all say, I'm kind of putting myself in the show, I'm walking, I got a little financial thing going.
Right.
Okay. Now I know, at least I've done a little education. I know there's a few places I can invest my money, but I'm trying to figure out my risk tolerance. I'm trying to understand this whole thing of risk.
Right.
Should I be, doing day trading? Should I, go out and decide I'm going to start flipping, real estate? Am I, how do I assess risk? And is it dependent on the stage of life I'm in?
Absolutely. I like to talk about not only time horizon, but your appetite for risk as well. There's some investors that have a greater appetite for that and can accept downside risk where, they have the opportunity to make, 20 or 30% return on their investment. But at the same time, they've got to be willing to accept a downside risk as well, where they may give up 15 to 20% in a given year in lieu or in an opportunity to reach that higher goal. So you have to have a stomach for that if that's what you're looking for. But more important than that is that time horizon that we're talking about. Generally speaking, the market works through market cycles. We go through these 5-year periods of time where we'll go through peaks and valleys within the marketplace. If you've got a longer time horizon, you can withstand some of those peaks and valleys a lot better. Trajectory of the market or the trends of the market always tend to go upward, right? So if you've got 10, 15, 20 years to give, you can deal with the volatility in the marketplace a lot better than you could if you had, say, a 5-year time horizon. So that also begs the question, well, then how do I invest? So asset allocation, diversification of your portfolio is going to be extremely important when you're taking a look at your risk. You always hear the adage, don't have all your eggs in one basket. So we'll look to invest in various asset classes, whether it be large company stocks, small company stocks, international, precious metals, real estate, things of those nations. So you really want to diversify the investments that you've got in order to mute that risk that you're accepting in a portfolio so you can move forward.
Okay, wow. And then as we talk about, this concept of diversification, I know a lot of us, if we're working for a corporation or we got a 401k going, and so we're de facto invested in the stock market, but should we just kind of set it and forget it? Is there anything that we should be thinking about with our 401, not only our 401k, but maybe Roth IRAs? And how does that factor into the whole wealth building prospect?
That's a great question, Angelique. And one thing that I think a lot of investors are not aware of is that in 2006, when Congress passed the Pension Protection Act, they actually allowed for most large companies to offer their employees an opportunity to have a third party manage your 401k or your 403b while you still work there. And a lot of people don't realize they can actually have an investor or have an investment advisor, if they're a fiduciary, manage your 401k while you're still in service at the same company you work for.
Wow. And this is just a wild card question because I have a lot of friends, people I know that are saying, hey, I want to make a wealth move. I want to start a new business. I want to, maybe invest in real estate. And they say, I kind of want to tap into my 401k to do it. No, I'm not. Maybe, is that a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Is there a way to do that properly? Is there things that people should be thinking about? And this question is for you, Jonathan, in terms of, as a follow-up question, is there something we should be thinking about as we make that decision? Yes, and another, I guess, part of the Pension Protection Act is also that a lot of people are not really aware of too, is that you can do what's called a self-directed IRA. And what that means is if you have a 401k, you can then, there's a lot of paperwork involved in this, set up a separate IRA, transfer part of your money from your 401k to your self-directed IRA, use that self-directed money to buy real estate, to buy a myriad of different things. You can buy gold coins, there are lots of things you can do, and the money that's inside the self-directed IRA, it's still tax qualified. That's the thing most people miss. When you pull money out of a 401k and you spend it, you are penalized and taxed if you're under 59 and a half years old. But if you do it as a transfer using a self-directed IRA, you can then do that in such a way that you're not penalized or taxed. It can still stay in a tax-deferred situation. And then in terms of that, I'm glad you said that because I've even heard of some situations of people pulling money out of their 401k and not realizing they had a tax obligation for that. And not to get too complicated into that, obviously, if you guys want a session, you can book a session. But, just so people have a loose idea, just a range, when you pull money out of a 401k, what's kind of a general range that you can, from here to here that the tax might be on that money. Just so people know it's not just little thing. Right. It's going to be a 10% penalty if you're under 59 and a half years old. Plus they're going to withhold 10% for state taxes, and they're going to withhold 10% for federal taxes as well. And at the end of the year, when you file your taxes, you may have other taxes due on top of that, depending upon what your total income was for that year. So it could be bad. It could be 25 to 35% that you lose if you take money out of a 401k without properly setting up a self-directed IRA to put that money into. Wow. I know a lot of our viewers are going to love that advice because I think I've seen a lot of people kind of just pulling it out, either taking the penalty or tax, and I've been realizing it was a penalty and tax until Uncle Sam comes back years later after more penalties have added on to it. So in terms, though, Pi, of this wealth journey that we're on, I'm hearing a lot about tech companies kind of getting into what they're calling now fintech. So using technology, when you're either doing financial or wealth planning, or even just, something as simple as banking through my phone. Sure. This is maybe a little off topic, but what do you see as kind of the future of fintech? And does that play a role? Are there some apps or some things that you think we might want to think about as we're building wealth that could be handy in the day-to-day maybe? Or
a lot of the money managers that we use have actually started to integrate algorithms into their management process as they look to invest for particular clients. So I have to admit the idea behind artificial intelligence in terms of looking at historical trends in the marketplace and using that to try and define what the future looks like or how to give recommendations based on what we've seen before is becoming more prevalent, certainly. Even myself, once upon a time in my trading days, you could use systems that would allow you to automate sell disciplines and things of that nature, where you could place stop losses on particular stocks if it moved by a certain amount to the downside. So automating your strategy in terms of a discipline is something that has been around, but it's certainly being innovated, here throughout. So, I don't have a particular, tech company that I would suggest, but certainly if you don't have the time to personally look at it yourself, you can't be in front of the computer all day long. There are various services that, as I suggested, are automating your investment strategy or will allow you to have automatic stop losses put in the event that a stock that you've traded goes downward. So those are things that are certainly becoming more prevalent.
Wow, and I can definitely understand your tone of caution. I mean, if we see what happened with the housing crisis that we had, that was all based off of historical trends predicting what you should get into right now. So, and then we're talking about Blackwell, so I can only imagine, just as we talked in the previous segment, that you have some biases that come in those AI algorithms that are kind of baked in, and wondering, historically, Black people as a community, because of something called slavery, haven't necessarily been in the historical data of wealth going back. And so I wonder if some of those biases can actually be detrimental.
Absolutely.
But of course, being a PC electrical engineer, I'm always pro-tech, but I love your wise words of be cautious about that. Right. So I am so glad I had a chance to talk with you both. This has been a great segment. I know, Jonathan, I'll be talking with you later on in the week. Yes. We'll be talking about how to invest funds with friends. And so I'm glad I'll be seeing you again. Pi, thank you so much. And to all of you, please stay tuned.
Of the 46th Judicial Circuit is now in session. The Honorable Chief Apostle Mark Samuel Hebrew presiding.
Today's case is the church versus the church. What in the earth? Prosecuting attorney, excuse me, bailiff. What seems to be the problem?
Yes, sir. With all due respect to you, Your Honor, Mother Mabel, anchor, prosecutor, we give honor to you, Your Honor, and we give honor to everybody who's in the courtroom, and we give honor to the pastor, the prelate,
Mother
the
Mabel,
officers of the fivefold ministry.
Mother Mabel,
sir.
We are in a courtroom, so please, let's carry on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The reason why we're here today, Your Honor, is because those people over there don't know what they're doing.
Objection.
They have no idea how to handle what's been given to them, and I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it, Your Honor.
I understand, Mother Mabel. I see that in the quotes. They do not know what they're doing. That's not church.
There's no God in whatever it is that they're doing, but it ain't that. No, sir. No,
Today should definitely be a treat. Defense. What do you have to say?
Greetings, Your Honor. My name is Jaleesa K. Esquire, and I am here representing the Coalition of the 21st Century Church.
All righty, well, Ms. K, why do you believe we're here today?
Well, to be quite honest, I do believe we have some rogue variants running around in the name of Christianity, and it's causing quite a problem.
So, you do agree that there is an issue here?
Oh, I agree. There is a problem, but we don't agree on what that problem
Clearly.
is. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Mother Mabel, what is the exact issue?
Your Honor, I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked. See,
is that her?
Tell him. Once upon a time, you see, once upon a time, I believe that the church was founded upon holiness.
Hallelujah.
Sanctification.
Yeah.
The Holy Ghost.
Amen.
And the Word of God. But these children over here
Your
just
Honor,
mixing
objection.
everything.
All right, okay, that's
mixing it all up.
Mother Mabel, I will allow you to speak here, but please respect my courtroom and try to have some respect for the defendant as well. Proceed.
My apologies, Your Honor. These children, I mean, Miss K and her client
Thank you.
don't appreciate what's been given to them. They have no idea what they're doing. They're taking the church and the world and they're mixing it all up. Take a look at what they're wearing right there. See, she and her client, her co-counsel, or whoever that is, she's sitting over there with pants. They're wearing the makeup and the jewelry, and they got all that on. And she's at least she has a skirt on, but it looks a bit short from where I'm sitting. And neither one of them have stockings. Where are the stockings with the skirt that short? You need the stockings on. That's what it is.
Please, Mother Mabel, you cannot tell me that we are here this early in the morning. The church is all on trial because of pantyhose. Please.
I'm talking about that the church has lost its modesty.
Amen.
It's lost its standard. Lost its reverence for God. Lost the holiness. Because the Bible says that holiness without which no man shall see the Lord.
Objection, Your Honor, if I may.
Please.
Hebrews 12:14 says to make it your point to live in peace with one another and be holy. And then it says, holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. If we're going to quote the scripture, let's quote the whole
Okay,
thing.
ladies, please, I feel like I'm in Bible study. Can we please have some order in here? All righty. Now, Ms. K, please, if you could continue.
Oh, my God. Your Honor, it's a struggle for me when we are blamed for things. The 21st century church, we learned from them. We inherited their church, and it hurts me when we are blamed for things that aren't important. What is wrong with what I have on? And let's just say I did wear jeans to church. If my all is on the altar of sacrifice laid, does it matter?
If your all is definitely bent all over the altar for all and your everything to be seen
Wait a
by
minute.
all and everyone.
Has this happened before, Mother Mabel?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. Yes, it has. Oh, my word. We were just talking about it this past Sunday where some poor woman had the wardrobe malfunction while standing at the altar. Ooh, that's the reason why we have me and my co-counsel, Mother Betsy, we have these prayer cloths that we have for that very, very reason. Oh, we were talking about it when we were making dinner after church that day. We was frying chicken and chopping greens and baking a caramel cake and sipping tea. You know we was having a real good time. We have a real good discussion. And then Mother Lily walked in and we was just really expressing.
Mother Mabel, it sounds like a lot of tea was being served because did you ever try to talk to that poor soul and kind of guide her to make better decisions, or you just talked about her over dinner?
Your Honor,
I'm
I
just
would
saying.
never be
Sounds a little
one
messy.
caught gossiping in the house of the Lord.
Sounds like
No, we were just expressing our concerns. Besides, these young people wouldn't listen to you no way.
I don't know. Mother Mabel, it sounds like you all were gossiping over dinner, okay? And if you didn't try to help, you can't be surprised that people don't mysteriously know how to dress up for church or do church.
Your Honor, with all due respect, may it please the court, you sound like one of these very open-minded liberal individuals who just have no problem with individuals walking into church with the t-shirts and the skinny jeans and the tennis shoes, where we're referring to God as the universe and the Holy Ghost as force. And of course, Your Honor probably has no problem with them waving, burning sage.
Objection.
Ooh, touch the nerve.
Alrighty, ladies, please. Order.
Amen. Your Honor, we do not do that. I know there's some Christians, alleged celebrities, walking around claiming Christianity and waving sage, but we do not do that. Ain't no universe save me. We don't do that. That ain't us.
Your Honor, would you please instruct defense counsel to address me properly as Mother Mabel? Would you please?
We're in court.
I won't take orders in my own courtroom. I'm sorry. Well, let's please continue.
What? Look, what?
I'm sorry, Ms. K. Just please try to keep your composure.
This is court.
Your Honor, does this mean that the things of God no longer matter? I mean, the word, I remember singing a song once upon a time that says, only what you do for Christ will last.
We understand that. We teach the kids that all the time as youth leaders. And respectfully, you have been condescending to me this entire time. I haven't flaunted my degrees, my certifications, my education, or even mentioned the fact that we're actual lawyers. Why are you so consumed with trying to insult us?
Your Honor, with all due respect, may it please the
Now
court.
she's surprised.
Try to talk and try to correct or try to do anything with these young people. As I indicated before, they don't listen. I mean, they get all sensitive and want to run and call their therapist or something.
Objection! What? There is absolutely nothing wrong with a therapist. One, where is your grace, Mother Greta? And two, I'm going to see my therapist when I leave here fooling with you. I'm so glad I have one.
I have
so
to agree.
glad.
I think a session is due for myself after this case.
Ooh, where is telehealth when you need it?
Mother Mabel, I'm sorry, this case is very frivolous. I don't really see a point in it.
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled. And you got about one more time. We're going to throw you in contempt, okay? Please. Bailiff, handler, please.
Ooh, her teeth about to fall
As I was
out.
saying, Mother Mabel, this case is absolutely frivolous. I mean, if you want to see more from the 21st century church, make it your practice to help them with pure intentions. The church is always going to be flawed. People are always going to be flawed, but you can do better in honoring God by working together. This division is not going to help anybody or anything. And Ms. K, you have an uphill battle yourself. Now, while you do not have to cope with or honor traditional religious practices if they're not biblically sound, you must honor the Lord in all that you do and respecting those who came before you, your elders. It's a huge part of that. You both just need to find a common ground and get your feet to the streets. The only reason why these people think these Christianity imposters are a real thing is because the real Christians remain silent. Maybe, Ms. K, you can take a book out of Mother Mabel's page here, because every chance she gets to open that mouth, she's going to open it. So speak up. Take every single opportunity to open your mouth. There's going to be a...
Like that?
I'm going to let that slip. There's a great falling away coming. And if you don't want your whole assembly to go to hell because they never met Jesus, teach them.
Okay, understood.
Simply, the verdict is mediation. You both are going to be sentenced to 12 months of joint counsel. Let's get it together, folks. Court is adjourned.
All rise.
We gotta have conversation. Me and you have, I was like, wait a minute. I need you to. We gotta have to. Can we grab a cappuccino? We love y'all. Y'all holy people. So.
We're gonna give you holy answers.
Listen, y'all. Of it. So we gonna have.
Well, that's my vision. I think he's just normal.
He is.
He's himself all the time.
Yes, what you see is what
Can
you
we
get.
add that to the
Comical
announcement?
and
Just throw it in there. Don't forget he's normal.
He's normal.
So just discard all your emails. He's normal.
Yeah.
I have a reason why.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, but they'll know what you're talking about.
They will.
They're like, little Gabby.
Well, she's not little anymore because she's actually taller than I am.
11 years old.
I think she's 11 or
I think she's
12.
older than that.
What's in the cereal? What is in the cereal nowadays?
I know it.
Whatever it is, I didn't eat it. I didn't. I just stayed short.
I should ask Grace to interview me. That'd be fun. Would you interview me? Look at her hip. That'd be fun, actually.
She's willing. Not obedient, but she's willing.
Sir?
Yes, you are obedient. Right.
What's Girl's last name?
Clink Scales.
I've never said their last name. Ever. I'm just realizing that I need to make sure I get this right.
Clink
Scales.
Clink Scales.
Okay, I'm here with the Clink Scales. Oh, it's quiet now.
Yeah.
The church cleared out? Okay.
What is the musicians? You see, once it got quiet, once Will got up there.
That is true. He talks to everybody. Okay.